Hey, it's Matt Webley here. I hope you're doing all right. In this video, this hot and sticky Dubai video, summer, humid, back end of summer, almost over. Things are getting better, things are getting busier, but I want to talk to you about software as a service and how much it costs to build it now compared to how much it used to cost to build it. So if you don't know me, I've been selling online for over 23 years, done over $23 million online, made $12 million over the last 7 or 8 years selling software as a service. In kind of like passive in my spare time, I do 2 or 3 meetings in one day per month on the business. So I've got a grasp and understanding of how much it used to cost to build it, which is still what it costs to build it really if you're using humans, and I've got a grasp of what it's costing to build it using AI and AI agents, because I have a coaching group whereby I help people build AI-based software as a service businesses from scratch, even if you've got no idea, no technical knowledge, and not a lot of money. So, software as a service, great business model, faceless, single person, remotely run, passive income, generates more month on month, just a really good business model. But the biggest problem with it before was it used to have lots of barriers to entry. There was a technical barrier. The main barrier was a technical barrier. You couldn't code the stuff because if you wasn't a coder yourself or didn't have a partner that was a coder, you were going to pay a lot of money for devs, human devs. So that was your biggest cost, right? If you're not a coder yourself, your biggest cost previously, and still currently if you're using AI, human devs like we are, in multiple of my businesses, we're still AI, we're still human. I am encouraging some of my devs to jump on the AI hype. That's not a hype, it's the future. And I could tell a story about that actually. Senior dev on one of my projects, I told him, look, you need to use Cursor, plug Claude Code into it, hook it up to GitHub, and it'll be like being a superhuman. You'll be able to get superhuman advantages. And he was a bit like, yeah, I'm in an hour and a little bit. I'm like, look, just do it. Encourage him to do it. Looked at it, and he's like, he's blown away by it. He's absolutely blown away by it. He said that something that would have took him 2-3 weeks before, which probably means 2-3 months, because that's what devs are like. They always underestimate. So what would have took him 2-3 weeks, by his admission, 2-3 months in reality, he was like, I think he did it in 11 minutes. And I was like, that's what we're seeing with AI, it's changed the game. But anyway, so old school, if you're using human devs, you're looking at minimum about $40,000, $50,000 a year per dev. So if you had a one-person dev team, which is a little bit dangerous, I mean, you can do it, but one-person dev team, 50 grand just for the human labor. I always recommend a minimum 2-person dev team, because then at least 2 individual, unrelated people know about your project, and if the poop hits the fan and one leaves you or something worse happens, then you've always got another dev that can kind of help bring a new dev on. So I always like to reduce single points of failure in any business, I always have. So if you've got, it's like engines on a plane. You can fly a plane with one of your engines out, relying on another engine, like redundancy, like that's what you want in your business. So like you can't fly, you can't run your SaaS business with no devs, you know, and getting a new dev to come in, understand the code, pick up where the old dev left off, very difficult. If you've got 2 devs, you've got that kind of redundancy built in, so one goes, the other one can kind of pick up the slack for a little bit while you get another one in. So it just gives you that kind of safety stuff. So minimum really 2 devs on a project, makes them go a little bit faster as well. Don't make them go twice as fast, but it makes them go a little bit faster. One can be bug fixing and stuff, and the other one can be building new features. So you do get a little bit of a nice balance with 2 devs. But let's say you're paying Ukrainian type dev costs or Turkey dev costs, you might be looking at $40,000-$50,000 per year for a decent dev. We're not talking groundbreaking, but we're talking somebody that can put something together. They're not going to be the fastest, they're not going to be the best, they're not going to be the most experienced, but they're good enough to put a software as a service project together and keep it running, given enough time and figuring it out and lots of Googling. So $100,000 a year, probably minimum in human costs, is how much it used to cost to build software as a service. And typically speaking, depending on the project, in my experience, you never get a project done in 1 year, even if you think you're gonna. It would take 2-3 years. So minimum, maybe 4 years. Now, I'm not saying you can't get an MVP out, you can't get a simple project out quicker, but if you're talking about a proper software as a service, maybe B2B app, that's going to compete with the entrenched competition, so the people that are already there, you're looking at 2, 3, 4 years of a two-man team. So if you just multiply that out, let's say best case scenario, 2 years, 2 devs, you're looking at $200,000, 2 years of your time, and lots of back and forth. That's not allowing for a project manager, that's not allowing for a QA or anything else. That's just raw devs, right? 2 of them, 2 years, 200 grand, 3 years, 300 grand ish. Obviously, if you're paying US coders, you might be paying $100,000 plus per coder per year. You know, you could be paying $200,000, $300,000. You know, and obviously, excellent devs probably going to demand more money, but you can't really hire excellent devs because they're not available. So you can get lucky. 1 in 10 might be excellent that you hire on the open market. Probably 9 out of 10 are all right. They're good enough. And you'll have a couple of car crash bad ones in there. We used to have a guy, he was Armenian. We didn't use him for long. We were building a webinar platform, and he put something quite impressive together quite quickly, but we quickly realised the guy was an absolute clown. And I remember it was funny, on this call, we were like, he wasn't listening. Like, we were talking to him, he wasn't listening. Didn't speak the best English anyway, but he just wasn't listening. And we're like, Henry, why is he just talking like this? And we're like trying to get him to stop talking. We're like, Henry. And we're like, Henry. And then he went, Henry. He literally said his own name back in that tone, Henry. And we were just rolling. We still laugh about it now. Like, we're like, Henry. And then he's like, Henry. Just amazing, funny guy. Absolute tragic nightmare. He wasn't going to get us there. Wasted a few months, wasted a few $1,000, a few tens of thousands of dollars, and we scrapped the project and scrapped him. You know, that's part of the journey. Just because I say, 2 devs, it's going to take you this long. No, it doesn't always. You can just go down rabbit holes with the wrong devs, and you don't know the wrong devs until you've been with them a while, because it kind of looks like it's going the right direction, and then you look back and go, not the right guy. So you're looking at $100,000 a year for okay devs in countries that they don't speak great English, but you can get them. Typically speaking, and this is not me trying to be racist or like weird or anything, I've got nothing against the people, but typically speaking, Indians might be cheaper, but I've never seen or heard of anybody getting good results from Indian dev teams. Now, that's not to say that they aren't out there. I think Zoho, huge company, lots of tools. You probably use one. We use them. I think they're Indian. I think they've got Indian devs and accomplished software, accomplished teams. So they are out there, but typically on the open market, like, you get Indians, might maybe look cheaper. So you might be going, no, I know I can get Indian devs for that. So you might look cheaper, but actually, culturally, I find the way they work to be difficult, because oftentimes, and again, it's not all, but oftentimes what I've seen over the years is that Indian devs will often say, yes, I understand. But what they mean is, I understood words come out of your mouth, but I don't understand what they are. Or they'll say yes to something. You'll be explaining something, but no problem. But all they meant is, yes, I heard words coming out of your mouth. They didn't actually mean, yes, I can do it, or yes, I will do it. They just mean, yes, I heard you say something. So and like, you see these cultural differences and the way people are, the way that people work as a whole. and I realise that's a sweeping statement, sweeping thing, but what I'm saying is, look, you might be thinking, no, I know I can get a dev for $15,000 a year or $25,000 a year. All right, good luck. Good luck. Use them then and report back to me. Let me know how it went. So old school, you're looking at 50 grand per dev per year, and so 100 grand for a 2-man team. Obviously, if you have a 4-man team, you might be looking at 200 grand a year. So it can get expensive real quick. Some people might throw a 10-man team at something, but you're not going to get to market much faster with a 10-man team as you are with a 2-man team. You're going to be a bit faster, but you're not going to be a whole lot faster. These things take time. In the olden days, they take time. And then you've got server bills. We've got one company that's got a server bill of about $25,000 a month. And other companies and SaaS projects that maybe the servers are a few $1,000s a month, depending on the necessities. And then you've got API costs. You've got customer service costs. You've got even maybe marketing costs. So these costs can add up to the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So you need deep pockets, lots of patience, a willingness to hit your head against a brick wall many times and be so frustrated with things and to keep going anyway. Very difficult in the older days. Now, what I'm finding now, because the times have changed, is that actually those costs have collapsed. I mean, absolutely collapsed. So my coaching students, my mentees, are building software as a service as no-code AI founders. So no-code, using AI, they're single-handedly building these single-person businesses that used to take 2, 3, 4, 5 people, like some VAs for customer service, some devs, maybe a project manager, maybe a QA, whatever. So you're looking at 4 or 5 people person team for a very small team that would cost a bunch of money, and now they're being built with one person 100 times faster. So my students are typically going from idea to ready to launch in about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, which is unheard of. There's not a single dev team on the planet that can put something together in 4 to 6 weeks, even if you've got a 100-person team, just because of the nature of 100 people working together. It'd be like spaghetti junction. It'd be so difficult to, not impossible, but so difficult to coordinate. There's some inherent time built into human development that's just not there with the AI. So you can use Replit, which is what I recommend my students use if they are totally beginner, no code, no tech, just want to be a human that makes software from scratch and builds an AI software as a service business. I recommend Replit. Out of the box, Replit does it all. Very, very good. There's only going to be a couple of quirks that you're going to struggle with Replit, but they're not insurmountable. You can use Replit from start to finish. I have clients that are doing that. As a slightly more technical way to overcome some of the issues and the cost, drop the costs even more, some of my students are plugging Claude Code into Replit. Replit handles that all-in-one stuff. Claude Code handles a lot of the heavy lifting of the actual coding, and then just working together in synergy, just really beautiful combination. And then if you're super devy, techie, you're more looking at something like a Cursor, Claude Code, or even a Cursor and ChatGPT-5 AI stack, if you like. And then you could use whatever on the back end, but you could also plug it into Replit if you want to handle that all-in-one, self-deploying nature and all that stuff. Doing that, you are looking at 100 times to 1,000 times less cost. If you use the Replit way, 6 weeks of development, again, there's an agent involved, so it accumulates cost over time, and it's not a linear, it's not like it will cost you this per month, but you're looking at maybe 6 weeks of development with Replit, you might end up sitting around $1,000 to $1,500, all done. So what would have cost you $200,000, $300,000 with humans and take 2 or 3 years, you're doing in about 6 weeks with AI, no code, and around $1,000, $1,500 for Replit costs. and the hosting and stuff super cheap. You can spin it up directly within Replit, attach a domain to it. Stripe's essentially free. They take you a percentage of what you charge through them. Like, all in, you're probably looking at $1,000 to $2,000. All in, everything paid for. 6, maybe 8 weeks at a push. Saleable, ready to go software, launchable. $1,000 to $2,000 ish. Again, I'm giving you rough estimates here, because some people are like, they're only on $300, $400, $500 agent spend weeks into it, and then other people are pushing $1,000 plus. So let's say $1,000 to $2,000 all in. You've got a software that's ready to sell, launch ready, sales letter done, everything. 6 weeks, 2 months ish, 2 months definitely, slam dunk. You've got it built from start to finish, AI, no code, $1,000 to $2,000 all in. That's the same compared to what you would have took 2-3 years doing with human devs. You're doing in 2 months. So 2 years, human devs, $200,000. 2 months, one AI no code dev, essentially you, a SaaS founder, no technical knowledge, can do that in 2 months, what they were doing in 2 years. $2,000 versus $200,000, so 100 times less. This is not theory. This is not wildly inaccurate. This is what I'm seeing across multiple clients in my coaching program that have built SaaS, that have got no coding knowledge, no AI knowledge, nothing. They come to me fresh. 2 months later, they've got launchable software as a service, and they've spent $1,000, $2,000. Now, that's if they are using Replit straight out of the box. If they're plugging Claude Code in, that drops the cost significantly. So your agent fees, you're still going to use your agent a bit. You're still going to pay the $25 a month or whatever it is to Replit. So 2 months in, you're probably looking at maybe $200, $250 if you're going to plug Claude Code into Replit. Maybe, let's say $300 covers it. So you're dropping the costs 10x again, almost. $250, $200, $300, something like that. With the Claude Code stack, Replit, you doing it yourself, AI, no code. So you're looking at around $200 and 2 months using Replit and Claude Code. Now, I have heard rumors of being able to use like DeepSeek Coder that drops your costs even more, but I've not done it. I did have a little look, but I couldn't, it wasn't clear from what I looked at exactly how to do it, so I just gave up on it. I thought, well, you've dropped your cost, Matt, from $200,000 for 2 years of human devs, not taking into account server costs that are going to mount up, so you might be looking at $250,000 by the end of 2 years, maybe $350,000 by the end of 3 years before you've even launched. You drop that to 2 months, $300 to about $2,000, AI, doing it all yourself. Why would you want to drop it any more than that? Like, how cheap do you want it? But there's other options, is my point. So yeah, so that's the cost, old versus new, and the time frame, old versus new. Obviously, there's still stuff that you might technically struggle with to build out of the box with AI, but AI is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better, and honestly, since I've been building AI software, no-code software, and helping my clients do it, I've seen the tools come on leaps and bounds in the last few months. Leaps and bounds. So where are they going to be in 6 months, 12 months time? You can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be doing things that you couldn't even imagined prior to when it does it. Some people are saying AGI by 2027, we shall see. So yeah, my point is, right, there is now no technical barrier that should stop you building your own software as a service business from scratch on your own, faceless, single person, passive income. One of, if not the best business model for normal people to get into right now. If you're an everyday person with no tech background, no creativity, you're essentially a blancmange masquerading as a human, you can now build a software as a service business from scratch if you have a little bit of steering, a little bit of guidance. And that's what I do. If you want to book a call and chat to me, there's a link down below. If you want to build a software as a service business from start to finish, I can help you do that. And yeah, that's it. That's old versus new. hopefully that'll give you some idea as to how much it is to build your own software as a service business. Some people, as an extension of that, but maybe it's another video, some people ask me, what about like paid ads costs? My prescribed approach is, look, you'll touch the obvious paid ad stuff, like bidding on your own keyword in Google Ads, retargeting ads, because they're low cost. You're talking $1 a day type ads, and the no-brainers, guaranteed almost positive ROI. So you're going to do those kind of paid ads. But I don't prescribe for your average person out of the box cold ads for your software. It's something you can go move into eventually, but that's not the place to start. There's other strategies that can explode your business overnight and they don't cost anything. So that's what I nudge people down. So very, 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 very low costs from a marketing point of view. Essentially, most of it is free. Just takes a little bit of time, but you can use the AI and AI agents to shortcut a lot of that. And yeah, you can build an AI software as a service based business from start to finish in 2.5 months. Get your first paying customers within about 2 months or so. 3 months at a push if you're taking your time and procrastinating. So 3 months from now, even if you've got not very much money, I've told you it's a few $100s to build this stuff out, no clue about what you want to build, no marketing knowledge, no business knowledge, no AI knowledge, no software as a service knowledge, no coding knowledge. If you're basically a blancmange masquerading as a human, I can drag you through the sand and help you build a business from scratch. If you're interested in doing that, like I say, book a call or just keep watching this channel. I'm going to talk more and more about AI, software as a service. So hopefully you can decide, actually, I'm not going to do drop shipping anymore, or not going to aspire to be a drop shipper or a print on demander or insert suboptimal business model here. I'm actually going to build a real life business using AI, no code, and create a software tool. In demand, huge industry, growing massively, and now you can do it, and you couldn't do it a year ago because you'd have needed devs and lots of money, deep pockets. Now you can do it. Hopefully this inspires somebody to start their own business. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.